We shall now have a moment of prayers and meditation. Thank you so much. We may be seated. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, honorable members. We are convened here today on the 4th of December in one of the official responsibilities for us as members of the legislature to transact the business of the House. I take this opportunity to welcome all of you, Honorable the Premier, Dr. Popira Matuba, all MECs present in the House. We greet the Deputy Chair of Chairs. We greet Chief Whip and the Deputy Chief Whip and the Whipari. We greet our opposition parties present in the meeting, but all honorable members, you are humbly welcome. Specifically, we welcome the MEC for Treasury, because today is one of the important activities is going to be able to present and talk to the people of the province. But as well, we must greet the HODs, the Director General is here, and other HODs and senior government officials who are here. We greet those that are in the gallery. Those are following us on social media. You are warmly welcome in this sitting of the legislature. Without wasting any time, I've been informed that the programming committee has agreed that today will not have motions. I will be directed, which is item 2 on our order paper. There will be no motions without notice. Is it confirmed? Thank you so much, Chief Whip. Motions, that was motions without notice for 104, which is item 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is motion without notice 145, notice of motion rule 146, statement by members rule 199, executive member statement rule 200. We'll then directly proceed to item 6, deal with the tabling of committee reports and other reports and papers. Today we don't have any tabling of that. We'll now move to item 7 in terms of the orders of the day. Consideration and adoption of the report of the Portfolio Committee of the Provincial Treasury on the Limpopo Adjustment Appropriation Bill 2025, B05, 2025. Committee Chair, it's your time. Honorable Maseka Piedi.
Honorable Speaker, please receive my warm greetings to you and the Deputy Speaker on absentia, the Chief Whip and the Deputy Chief Whip and the entire Whipari, Chair of Chairs and Deputy Chair of Chairs. I've seen him around, the chairpersons of different portfolio committees, not forgetting our Honorable Premier, Honorable Dr. Popi Constance Ramatuba and your entire council, as well as leaders of opposition parties and our respective audience on the gallery, as well as on social media. Honorable Speaker, I rise to present before this August House the report of the Portfolio Committee on Provincial Treasury on the Limpopo Adjustment Appropriation Bill 2025, which is BO5 of 2025, for consideration and adoption. I so move. Oops.
Thank you very much, Chair. Can I get a seconder on the presentation? Honorable Mato.
Inkomu Speaker, ni yimela ku seketela leswi swi nga vekiwa kahle hi tatana Phiri sweswiwani inkomu.
Thank you so much, honorable members. We shall now refer to the speakers list. 7.1.1 in terms of the speakers list, we have Honorable Ngobeni Hassan Peter, who's opening the debate. Honorable Ngobeni. And we're reminding him that he has got 10 minutes, not 14. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. May I rise on the already established protocols, but also let me hasten to greet the Premier of the province, Honorable Popira Matua. Honorable Speaker, and good morning, honorable members. It gives me great pleasure and gratitude to make my humble contribution on today's debate on Limpopo Adjustment Appropriation Bill 2025. It will be both remiss and imprudent of me to be immersed into matters of the budget without making some important reflections on the recently held 17th anniversary celebration of Sapayopa Biking Club, the 2025 curling knockout final between Orlando Pirates and Marumo Gallants, due to take place on the 6th of December 2025. The 27th National Congress of the Preparatory Political School, the insurance of the African National Congress, the African National Congress Youth League, due to take place on the 14th to the 17th of December 2025 in our beautiful province. Inevitably, these ginormous events have the sharp propensity to jack up the economy of our province, including and especially the hospitality sector. This important 20 billion sector includes hotels, restaurants, and entertainment, among others. Our informal traders are also likely to benefit from all these events just in time for Christmas. This, of course, will include the adult or workers of the adult industry. Honorable Maseko. Honorable Speaker, in 2012, the AU, the African Union, and the UN Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA, established what was called the high-level panel, chaired by the former president of the Republic of South Africa, the former president of the African National Congress, President Thabo Mbeki. In the report, the commission highlighted three components that affect badly the illicit financial flows from Africa. Three components includes the commercial activities. This will mean that you have got big companies that participate in mispricing and tax evasion. But two, it spoke about what is called criminal activities. The criminal activities, it speaks about, on the one hand, fraud, and of course, your illegal activities that relates to smuggling of drugs, smuggling of guns, and trafficking of people. And lastly, it speaks about the, if you like, the activities that are to do with corruption and abuse of entrusted powers. In corruption, it says that the pillaging and the stealing of public resources for personal use continues to collapse our governments on matters that are to do with infrastructure. But I must be able to highlight two important issues that emanate from this illicit financial flows from Africa, the report prepared by this high-level panel. It says that Africa loses 50 billion into these illicit financial flows, but it also needs 50 billion for infrastructure needs for Africa. Inevitably and importantly, Honorable Speaker, let me now deal with the politics of bricks, mortar, steel, cement, and numerals. The provincial infrastructure allocation for 2025 has been revised upward by 5.4%, which translates into 8.8 billion, and it has been allocated to various departments in the manner that follows. The Department of Health got increased budget for maintenance, repairs, upgrades from 515 million to 702 million. The Department of Education's budget increased from modest 48 million 983,000 to a revised allocation of 1 billion 737 million for much needed and deserved infrastructure, a leap that ensures that learning and teaching takes place in environment worthy of our children's dreams, especially such special schools as Riwoni School for the Blind in Vembe, Setutolwane Special School in Capricorn, Asiphumelele Special School in Sekhukhune, Tusanang School in Waterberg, and in Tavisen School in Mopani, and any other schools with infrastructure challenges. Every child, regardless of circumstances, must find a path to flourish. Honorable Speaker, the Department of Cooperative Governance, Human Settlements and Traditional Affairs, COGSTA, received an additional 200 million for human settlements delivery and a further 6,816 million for the, for the construction of traditional council offices. This department also secured a 1,192,000 rollover for both informal settlement partnerships grant, human settlement development grant, ensuring continuity in the struggle for dignified shelter for our people. The consolidated infrastructure budget for Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure rises from 3,930 million to 4,098 million. Within this, a substantial 270 million is earmarked for storm-damaged rehabilitation projects, while 123 million is set aside for ongoing provincial roads upgrades. By contrast, the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture has suffered a downward allocation from 245 million and 9,000 to 142 million and 1,000. This excruciating cut came as a direct consequence of the department's perfect inability to complete the provincial theatre, a project that languishes at mere 52% completion. The unfinished theatre stands as a monument to inefficiency, a half-built stage where dreams of cultural renaissance remain trapped in scaffolding. Yet amidst the decline, a modest 10 million has been allocated to complete the construction of libraries. The department may be small, but its problems are huge and its responsibilities immense to give voice to our culture and ensure that art thrives. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, it must be emphasized that fiscal discipline is an integral part of ethical leadership, good governance and good governance. Let us all declare here and now that while we all still walk the solid earth, we will never allow financial leakages in our own departments and entities. No matter how improbable the task may seem, we must commit ourselves to the prudent utilization of the public resources. No cent must go unspent. No project must be abandoned in scaffolding. Thank you very much for your kind attention. I support the budget.
Thank you so much, Honorable Ngobeni. We shall move to the next presenter, Honorable Jacobus Frederick Smale. You have 5 minutes for the debate.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I thought it's the last day that there's the extra allocation. Good morning, Honourable Premier, and to your team, and to all members that are here present, especially the HOD and his team from Treasury. As the Democratic Alliance, we share MEC Mawai's concerns about the risks posed by the period of global uncertainty we currently face. We also agree with his optimism that under the government of national unity, we are beginning to see the first fruits of fiscal prudence after 15 years of reckless fiscal governance and borrowing. The GNU, with the DA inside, it is finally committed to stopping the debt spiral and putting in place the reforms needed for growth. But whilst we may be seeing the beginning of green shoots in our economy, growth predictions nationally and particularly in our province remain far too weak for the dire situation we find ourselves in following years of ANC misrule. We need deeper reforms, more urgency, more capable governance, and far better implementation. Honourable Speaker, in his adjustment budget speech last week in this House, Honourable MEC tried to present a positive picture. The shift of unspent funds between departments and entities requires the Treasury to do a proper assessment of financial plans within the APPs to make sure that these plans are adequately planned for and that funds are not just being directed to be later redirected into the hope to change the mindsets of our people. It's clear that one person is not efficient enough for engineering assessments with the Department of Treasury to oversee the poor spending and planning and the implementation of the Department of Public Works performance. In quoting President Ramaphosa's warning that the real test will lie in the implementation, Honourable MEC has confirmed the ANC's biggest weakness. The adjustment budget exposes a government that cannot implement. The shifting of funds across departments is not evidence of strategic decision-making. It reflects irrational choices, weak implementation, failed project management, poor oversight, and the inability of departments to spend the money they were given. This is not a budgeting problem. It is a governance problem. Honourable Speaker, nowhere is the collapse more evident than in the Makado Messina Special Economic Zone. For the third consecutive year, funding earmarked for the MMSEZ has been withheld and returned to the Provincial Revenue Fund because the project has again failed to progress to a point where spending is even possible. Limpopo Connections, which comes with a price tag of 500 million rand and with no dividends paid to date, requires another 45 million rand to stay afloat. Great North Transport, facing scrutiny of irregular lease agreements, service providers that should have delivered buses has not done so and will not before the financial year ends, requires another bailout of 90 million rand. Which proves that the entity is not financially sustainable. In total, 186 million rand has been withdrawn from the SEZ's capital budgets, covering both the SEZ's devastating indictment of the province-opposed flagships and economic programs. The pattern of failure extends well beyond these SEZs. The adjustment budget confirms the collapse or stalling of several high-profile projects, including the halting of the Limpopo Provincial Theatre, the withdrawal of funding from the Limpopo-Gauteng Speed Rail, and the stalled Tuando intermodal facility. These are not isolated incidents. They reflect a systematic inability to implement major capital initiatives. Honourable Speaker, the single biggest threat to the credibility of this adjustment budget is not funding, it's the implementation thereof. Until This government demonstrates the ability to turn budget into delivery, hold departments truly accountable. Limpopo's economy will remain stagnant and its people will continue to suffer. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Usman. We'll now move to the next presenter. I'm told by the Chief Whip that the EFF will be represented by Mayor Mapulali Dwaba. Mayor Mapulali Dwaba, you can come to the podium and you have 7 minutes for the debate.
Tabelan kukamoka. Honorable Speaker, although the provincial owned revenue has increased from 2.009 billion to 2.267 billion for the current financial year, this increase has never resulted into any tangible on the ground over the years. Our people continue to suffer despite the increased revenue that people proudly announce on podiums, thereby creating an impression that the government is doing something while nothing is happening on the ground. It is important to ensure that critical sectors receive the resources needed to drive progress and improve the quality of life for all Limpopo residents. Excuse. These additional resources to address the needs of our communities must be directed to where they are needed the most, which is communities in the poorest parts of our province. Honorable Speaker, the Department of Health received one of the most substantial adjustments, with its budget increasing from 907 million to 1.078 billion. And yet our hospitals and clinics continue to grapple with staff shortage of medicines and equipment, while the ambulances are lying in the waste as they do not have drivers. Majority of clinics still do not operate 24 hours a day, hence women continue to give birth at the gate of health facilities because nurses tell them they are closed. In Limpopo, you can hardly find an ideal clinic that has a good infrastructure, adequate staff, adequate medicines and supplies, good administrative process, and adequate bulk suppliers. Our health facilities are not functional. Thank you. Functional, not safe, and are not able to deliver quality care. An example is the chilling and horrific incident which occurred at Hakchweni Clinic last year, where criminals raped nurses within clinics' facilities. Honorable Speaker, infrastructure budget increases of 44.983 million in the Department of Education does not inspire confidence at all, given the many challenges this department continues to be confronted with. These infrastructure increases have, over the years, not ensured that the learning environment for our children is continually improved, because it is just a drop in the ocean. While for Coxstar, the budget increased from 1.1 billion to 1.3 billion, Marapung CRU and Altoostead housing. It's not my mother tongue, Shem. Project in Lipalale remains the elephant in the room. This long-delayed housing project of more than 10 years are invested with corruption and maladministration, and yet no one has been held accountable. Honorable Speaker, the MIGRI allocation of 6.816 million for construction of traditional council offices confirms what we have always indicated, that the government does not take royal houses seriously. Their needs are not on the priority list of government, hence they are allocated tiny budgets. Equally, the budget allocation of 123 million for ongoing provincial road upgrades is a drop in the ocean, given the backlog in this regard and the promises that that have been made to our people over the years. Honorable Speaker, the EFF does not understand why the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture budget was revised downward from 245.9 million to 142.1 million, while there is still a lot of work that needs to be done in the construction of the State Theatre. This downward revision is an attempt to derail the much anticipated progress at the theatres and to fail the MEC for this department. This is clear sabotage of progress in this project, which upon completion will give young people in the arts opportunities to harness their talents. Currently, crucially, an amount of 10 million has been allocated to complete the construction of libraries, redirecting resources to projects that can be completed efficiently and serve the public immediately. The EFF is concerned that although conditional grants increased by 712.979 million, they are not fully utilized to improve the lives of our people to an extent that they get returned to Treasury in every financial year, as if the people of Limpopo do not have service delivery needs. Honorable Speaker, despite allocation,
I apologize that you couldn't finish the speech, but the time is up. Thank you so much. We'll now allow the chair of the committee, Honorable Piedi Maseka Solomon, to come and close the debate. Honorable member, you have 10 minutes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. All protocol observed. Honorable Speaker, as guided by Public Finance Management Act of 1999, adjustment budget is crucial as it allows the provincial government to reassess and realign its spending priorities in response to changing economic conditions, unforeseen circumstances, or if there are shifts in terms of policies. For our provincial government, the adjustment budget enables the government to do the following: to reallocate funds to highly priority areas such as infrastructure development and social services, to address budget and revenue shortfalls, to respond to emerging needs like natural disasters or economic shock, and to ensure effective utilization of resources to improve budget execution. I hope honorable members will understand why we are having this budget adjustment against what they were saying. Honorable Speaker, the total adjusted provincial budget allocation for 2025-2026 financial year has increased by 1.5 billion rands from 88.9 billion rands to 90.5 billion rands compared to adjustment in 2024-2025 financial year. This 1.5 billion rands growth was financed through a strategic combination of rollovers, own revenue growth, and targeted additional funding. The provincial receipts have increased by 2 million rands, which will ensure that the critical sectors in the province receive the resources needed to service delivery as well as quality of life to our residents. Honorable Speaker, equitable share allocation from national government is at 1.0 billion rands, and from this amount of 701.5 million rands has been allocated to the Department of Health. An amount of 362.7 million rands has been allocated to the Department of Education. It is because, Honorable Speaker, we are a government that cares that there are other areas that cannot be postponed or be compromised. That is in health as well as in education. Honorable Speaker, equitable share rollovers of 419.3 million rands from the 2024-2025 to the 2025-2026, which include the 49.2 rollover million rands of retention and revenue from the Limpopo legislature. Once again, Honorable Speaker, conditional grants increased by 712.9 million rands. This includes the rollover amount of 62.2 million rands from the previous financial year. As we continue, Honorable Speaker, the provincial own revenue was increased by 258.7 million rands from the 2 billion rands to the 2.267 billion rands. And there was an additional conditional grant of 306.7 million rands for the early childhood development in education, as well as in AIDS, in health, which is 69 million rands, and disaster funding of 275 million rands for education, agriculture, and public works. As we said before, Honorable Speaker, that we are a government that cares. The Office of the Premier experienced a decrease of 33.3 million rands from 554 million rands to 521 million rands, meaning that the Office of the Premier that cares also has seen an importance of making a shift of certain funds from the Office of the Premier to other areas of demand. As we continue, Honorable Speaker, the institution's budget has been, in Provincial Treasury, the institution's budget has increased by 89 million rands from 671 million rands to 760.6 million rands. This adjustment is primarily to ease the budgetary constraints to ensure that the institutions continue to effectively exercise its oversight mandate for the remaining period of the financial year. Once again, Honorable Speaker, the Department of Education, as it has been said by Honorable Dwaba, who might have missed some of the key points, the Department of Education received an increase by a net of 843.8 million rands from 42.5 billion rands to 43.3 billion rands. The department has received an equitable share and conditional grants additions amounting to 1 billion rands and 491.9 million rands, respectively. The equitable share additional funding of 1 billion rands covered 362.7 million rands for the appointment of teachers across and all the districts, as well as the 233 million rands to cover spending pressures on scholar transport to support eligible learners, as well as 30 million rands for the special school buses and 40 million rands for the learner admission system, as well as 104 million rands for contractual obligations. Once again, Honorable Speaker, conditional grant allocation of 491.9 million rands to the department covered an amount of 306.7 million rands earmarked for the early childhood development, as I said before, grant, and the remaining 185.2 million rands comprised of 440 million rands for the educational or education infrastructure grant to the fund to fund the reconstruction and rehabilitation of school infrastructure damaged by rainfall, flooding, thunderstorms, and strong winds between April 2024 and June 2025, and 45.2 million rands in rollovers from the 2024-2025 financial year, primarily for the National School Nutrition Program of 33.8 million rands and various other grants totaling to 11.4 million rands. Honorable Speaker, you will understand the millions are so many because we care, we give this to our people. Honorable Speaker, once more, in the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, the department received an increase of 49 million rands, increasing its total budget from 1.9 billion rands to 1.95 billion rands. Notably, this results from additional equitable share resources of 53 million rands to cover spending pressure on goods and services, and 41.8 million rands completion of broiler house maintenance project, as well as the 3.2 million rands and procurement of tools of trade in the tune of 8.5 million rands. The committee further noted that the conditional grant portfolio also increased by 40.8 million rands, made up of 15.8 million rands conditional grants are rollovers for the Comprehensive Agricultural Support Program grant and 25 million rands to fund the reconstruction and rehabilitation of provincial infrastructure damaged by rainfall, flooding, thunderstorms, and strong winds. Once again, Honorable Speaker, to the Department of Treasury, the Provincial Treasury's budget was adjusted downward from 512 million rands to 467 million rands. This is because the department surrendered 45.8 million rands, which was reallocated for infrastructure development in the province. Limpopo Economic Development, Honorable Speaker, and Tourism, the budget for Limpopo Department Economic Development and Environment and Tourism has decreased by 186.6 million rands from 2.2 billion rands to 2.1 billion rands. The downward cut came as a result of the withholding of earmarked funds for Messina Mercado Special Economic Zone and Fetago Mutubatsi Industrial Park capital project into the provincial revenue funds for future use. As Honorable Smiley said before, we are a government that also reconsider our positions in taking decisions. That is exactly what's happening in this regard, Honorable Speaker. And once more, Honorable Speaker, this reduction was partially offset by additional allocation, including equitable share rollovers of 19.2 million rands and 20.9 million rands to address pressures related to contractual obligations. Limpopo Economic Development Agency and its subsidiaries were allocated 198.1 million rands for operational cost. The Limpopo Gambling Board, Honorable Speaker, was allocated 23 million rands through the revenue retention strategy, and Limpopo Tourism Agency received 5 million rands for goods and services. The Department of Health, Honorable Speaker, that I think I found it surprising when it was said that our clinics are dysfunctional. I'm here to bear testimony, Honorable Speaker, that I'm one of those who visited some of the clinics at the Take Legislature to the people at Skukune, where we find fully functional clinics. And as such, this government considered the department's budget showed a net increase of 521.7 million rands from the main appropriation of 26.7 billion rands to 26.5 billion rands. A total of 921.2 million rands equitable share was made available through additional funding comprising of 218.6 million rands for the appointment of doctors and healthcare professionals and 460 million rands to cover spending pressures on goods and services, which include procurement of medicine and medical supplies, and 240.8 million rands for the procurement of medical equipment, and 45 million rands for claims against the state. Honorable Speaker, as I said earlier on, that all these allocations is because we care. The African National Congress government cares and make it a point that in that sector of health, our people are always prioritized. The department also received additional conditions grants allocated of 69 million rands for the comprehensive HIV and AIDS components. In the Department of Transport and Community Services, Honorable Speaker, for transport and community services, then budget was adjusted downward by a net of 112.4 million rands from the main appropriation of 3 billion rands to 2.9 billion rands. The downward adjustment was mainly due to the reprioritization of funds that were previously allocated to projects that did not progress as expected. The downward adjustment included 38 million rands that was initially allocated to the Toyando Intermodal Transport Facility and 8 million rands for the Limpopo Gautrain Speed Railway project. Once again, Honorable Speaker, the department also received the equitable share additional amounted to 86.8 million rands for the implementation of the instrument lending system and to settle a claim against the state in Gateway Airport Authority Limited, and another portion was set aside for implementation of infrastructure project. That is the Shego K53, Mampukale, Way Bridge, as well as Traffic College, and for goods and services items and contractual obligations. And Honorable Speaker, the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure received an increased budget allocation amounting to 316.6 million rands, rising from 5.6 billion rands to 5.9 billion rands. This adjustment was inclusive of an equitable share surrendered of 234.9 million rands and an additional funding totaling 551.6 million rands. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, the same way with the Department of Arts, Sports and Culture, the budget decreased by 125 million rands. And as we continue, Honorable Speaker, once more, the Department of Social Development, this is the only department that its budget has neither increased nor decreased. The allocation remains unchanged. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, in my conclusion, I will call for the House to move for the adoption and for the adoption of this report. I thank you.
Thank you so much. The chair has closed the debate. We shall now request the Honorable MEC to respond to the debate. Honorable MEC Mawai has honored the call by the programming committee that we must be casual. He knows the dress for the day.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It is a rare privilege to be on this podium very casually, on a very serious business, of course. And I must appreciate that all of you, all the parties, are supporting this adjustment. I don't doubt that. We have taken note of all what you are concerned about, but I must emphasize that it is true, a very capable organization called the ANC that we are able to deliver goods such as this. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Premier, Honorable Chief Whip and Deputy, Chairpersons and Deputy, Chairperson of SCOPA, Chairpersons of all committees, Chairperson of the Portfolio on Finance, DG and other HODs, including staff from the Office of the Premier. It is a rare honor for us to receive today that the Adjustment Appropriation Bill is due to be approved by this honorable house. Rest assured, the monies are going to be taken care of. We have evidence, Honorable Premier. We are a trendsetter. Our province is doing well. Even that Chapter 9 institution, which is supporting democracy and having the good assurance, is attesting to that. Who else can say anything? I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, we will now go to 7.2. We shall now allow the Chief Whip to move a motion for the suspension of Rule 173 of the Standing Rules and Orders of the House. Honorable Chief Whip, Honorable Mokhonyana.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and good morning to our Premier, members of the Executive Council, the Wibari as led by Comrade Manama, the members of this House. Good morning once again. Madam Speaker, now that the Limpopo Adjustment Appropriation Bill 2025 B05/2025 has gone through all the relevant stages of the legislative process of this House, I now move that the bill be read for the third time in terms of the provision of House Rule 170. I move accordingly, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ntate Manuku, Isop Mokhonyana.
Sorry, Honorable Speaker, I've been informed by the bench on my back that I read a wrong motion.
We apologize, Chief Whip.
And it is becoming a trend, Honorable Speaker. I don't know whether the intention is to sabotage the Wibari. No, that was on a lighter note, yeah. Madam Speaker, House Rule 173 provides that unless otherwise provided in these rules, not more than one stage of the bill may be taken on the same sitting day if objection to a further stage is made by 4 or more members. It has therefore become necessary to invoke the provision of House Rule 5 to suspend the provision of House Rule 173 in order to allow the House to finalize the Limpopo Adjustment Appropriation Bill 2025 B05/2025 today, as the House will be going into recess. I move accordingly, Madam Speaker.
We really thank you, Honorable Chief Whip, and we thank the table for advising you on time. Can we now request the seconder for the motion, honorable members? Honorable Nkwanyana.
Yake Wipari, Honorable Speaker. Thanks very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion as presented by the Honorable Chief Whip. Thank you.
Raleboga Siyabonga. We shall now request 7.3, Honorable MEC for Provincial Treasury, MEC Magwai, to move the motion for the third reading of the Limpopo Adjustment Appropriation Bill 2025 B05/2025. Honorable MEC Khabu Magwai.
Madam Speaker, now that the Limpopo Adjustment Appropriation Bill 2025 B05/2025 has gone through all the relevant stages of the legislative process of this House, I now move for that the bill be read for the third time in terms of the provisions of House Rule 170. I move accordingly, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. Can we get the seconder from the House? Even the left are allowed to second. It's not only the right. Honorable Wilson.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I stand to second the proposal by the Honourable Mawai. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate. Honorable members, we shall now go to 7.4, which is the third reading of the Limpopo Adjustment Appropriation Bill 225, B05 2025 by the presiding officer. We shall now adopt the schedule by schedule of the bill. Those who agree with the bill will say yay. Those who disagree with the bill, they'll say nay. Schedule 1 of the bill is the definition. Schedule 2 of the bill is the appropriation of the adjustment amounts of money for the requirements for the province. Schedule 3 is the appropriation listed as specifically and exclusively appropriated. Schedule 3 as well will have a short title. We shall now adopt the vote by vote of the bill. I've already indicated that those that agrees with the bill will say yeah. Those that don't agree will say yeah. I will listen to the voices. If the yes are many, it means they are disagreeing. And if the yeah are agreeing, it means the bill is moving. So I will be listening to the voices. Vote 1, Office of the Premier. Vote 2, Limpopo Legislature. Vote 3, Department of Education. Vote 4, Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. Vote 5, Department of Provincial Treasury. Vote 6, Department of Economic Development, Environment and Tourism. Vote 7, Department of Health. Vote 8, Department of Transport and Community Safety. Vote 9, Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure. Vote 10, Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. Vote 10, Department of Coxta. I apologize, it's vote 11. Vote 11, Department of Coxta. And vote 12, Department of Social Development. We shall now call upon the Secretary to read the short title of the bill. Over to you, Secretary.
This act is the Limpopo Adjustment Appropriation Act 2025.
I thought you were going to clap hands that the bill has been adopted. The appropriation bill is formally adopted by the House. Now it has been handed over to the MEC, Premier, and all departments to go and ensure that we serve the people of the province with the monies that have been appropriated. Thank you so much, honorable members. We now go to 7.5 on the order papers. Consideration and adoption of the following report of the Portfolio Committee of Agriculture and Rural Development Committee Chair. Chair, Honorable Bella Cooper, we are now giving you an opportunity to present the 2025-2026 revised annual performance plan of the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members, Chief Whip, Honorable Deputy Chief Whip, Honorable Deputy Chair of Chairs, the Whipari. As the Chairperson of Agriculture, I here to, Speaker. I'm here for the adoption of the revised annual performance of 2025-2026 financial year, and I think.
Raleboga me Bella Kupa Mabuza. Can we get the seconder? You should not be surprised, the Honorable the Premier and the Honorable the MEC, they've got an event of launching the festive season. They are released to do that. So you are released, Honorable MEC and the Premier. Can we get the seconder, Honorable Katuna Chipepe?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to second the motion as presented by the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee of Agriculture and Rural Development. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Katune Chifefe. We shall now refer to the speakers list. In terms of the speakers list, we've got Honorable Veli Lejek as the first person, but I have an apology that is not here. Maybe towards the end, I will have to inform you about all the apologies because you might be surprised why other people, including the deputy speaker, is not here. I will indicate that towards the end. Honorable Veli Lejek as well is apologized. We now move to Honorable Sibotuma Matsubani Jab. I'm reminding members, honorable member, you have got 3 minutes.
U80 of Sandlana.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The esteemed House, colleagues in the opposition benches, and our viewers at home. House of Africa. Today we debate the 2025-2026 revised annual performance plan of the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, a department that carries the enormous responsibility of ensuring food security, rural livelihoods, and economic growth in our communities. Agriculture is not just an economic sector. It is the backbone of rural development. It feeds our nation, it creates jobs, and sustains millions of livelihoods, particularly for small-scale and emerging farmers. Therefore, the plans we approve today must be realistic, responsive, and transformative. Honorable Speaker, while we acknowledge the department's commitment to expanding farmer support, increasing food production, and modernizing agricultural infrastructure, serious challenges remain. Access to land, water, markets, veterinary services, and affordable inputs continues to limit the success of many farmers, especially women and youth in rural areas. We are deeply concerned that budget constraints and slow implementation continue to derail well-intended programs. Too often, we see ambitious targets on paper, but limited impact on the ground. The revised APP must therefore move beyond compliance and focus on measurable outcomes that change lives. Honorable Speaker, climate change is no longer a future threat. It is a present crisis. Droughts, floods, and rising food prices are directly affecting our farmers and consumers. We must ask, is this revised plan adequately responding to climate resilience, irrigation development, and disaster preparedness? If not, then we are setting our farmers up for failure. Furthermore, rural development cannot succeed without integrated support. Roads, fencing, storage facilities, market access, and extension services must work together. Fragmented delivery wastes resources and frustrates communities. We call on the department to strengthen coordination with municipalities, cooperatives, and the private sector. Honorable Speaker, we also need to address the issue of monitoring and consequences management. Year after year, the Auditor General raises similar concerns. Without accountability, no amount of planning will yield results. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, this House must ensure that the 2025-2026 revised APP is not just a policy document, but a living commitment to farmers, to food security, and to rural dignity. We must demand efficiency, transparency, and impact because our people cannot eat promises, they eat the results of effective governance. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Kanima.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mas. Let's stick to the time. I'm pleading. That's why I'm indicating that you have got how many minutes. We now going to call Honorable Andre Moss. You have got 3 minutes. Please, let's stick to the time. Honorable members.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, Honourable Premier, esteemed members of the Executive Council, leaders of opposition parties, members of this House and guests. The Freedom Front Plus rises as the opposition today with a simple concern. This department is very busy rewriting the plan, but far less convincing when it comes to fixing its performance. We start where the department itself starts. The AG found that the performance processes of the department are not properly planned, monitored and evaluated. That means the basic architecture of planning and reporting was defective. Despite that, the legislator received a strategic plan and an APP in March, and then again in June, and as if everything was in order. Only when the audit bites, suddenly we are told the APP must now be revised. Honourable Speaker, the very framework on strategic and annual performance plans warns that an APP should ideally not be revised in the middle of a financial year, except in very specific circumstances like an adjusted budget. Yet here we have a revision driven not by changed budget, but by poor planning exposed during the audit. That should worry all of us who take oversight.
Speaker, it is true that this department is notorious for over and underachievement. So much so that the AG remarked under Programme 3, Agricultural Produce Support and Development, and I quote, "Based on the audit evidence, the actual achievements for 9 indicators do not agree to what was reported. I could not determine the actual achievements," close quote. It is hoped that now that the AG pointed the department in the right direction, we will see more accurate reflection of achievements. We are considering this matter in the House today because the AG told the department that its performance processes are not properly planned, monitored or evaluated. This is not a minor technical issue. The revision of this APP is therefore a forced correction of weaknesses that have already compromised the accuracy, credibility, and integrity of the department's performance reporting. So the decision to revise the definition of a subsistence producer is correct and supported, and we hope that the department will in future carefully look at all of the definitions and not wait for the AG to do so. Most indigent households are active producers. Excluding them undermine food security and contradicted national development priorities. Fixing this definition was thus necessary. But the scale of the target reductions is alarming. The revised APP showed drastic cuts across Programme 3, and I'm not going to repeat what Honourable Moss have said, but just to caution that we must look at it carefully. These are not adjustments, Speaker, they are collapses, and they come from the programme already performing the worst at mid-year. This raises an unavoidable question. Are we correcting planning weaknesses or simply lowering the bar to conceal underperformance? And I think that's a valid question. Key gaps remain unaddressed. The revision fixes the definition, but not the deeper issues highlighted by the AG. We still lack a clear verification method for identifying subsistent producers, and how do we support all farmers, not just a select few according to a political party affiliation. Second, an assurance that the new provincial definition aligns with national TIDs. 3, an explanation as to why Programme 6 will deliver its entire commercialization target only in Q4. The next one, evidence of Extension Office capacity to support 9,760 advisory beneficiaries. And then we still need the list of all farmers who received support, and this is critical because this is the basis of this revision. These omissions leave significant audit and delivery risk untouched, and this might point to one of the real problems, no proper records. The fact that the department failed so far to produce a list of those who received support might indicate that the department really doesn't know how many farmers are supported. This will explain the lament from the AG. Speaker, food security concerns also arise. The APP argues that indigent households must be included, yet it reduces household food production targets. In a province with high vulnerability, shrinking agricultural support is contradictory and dangerous. The department indicated that only 10 farmers per district, it's 50 in total, will be supported with commercialization services. Still, we don't know if these farmers will be selected by an independent panel based on objectively identified criteria or by ANC-appointed officials. Speaker, the Portfolio Committee's directives must now be implemented, including a detailed verification and registration plan, proper labour compliance reporting from supported farmers, guarantees that reduced targets will not result in reduced support, a structured program for training unemployed graduates. Correcting a definition is not enough. Without stronger systems, credible data, and real delivery, this revision risks becoming another exercise in lowering expectations. The people of Limpopo cannot afford that. As the DA, we will hold this department to its mandate, not to its excuses. I thank you.
We must learn all from you as you have saved me minutes. Thank you so much. With the debates that are there, I'm trying to manage my minutes today. I'm now going to call Honorable Mahulu. Yeah, Honorable Mahulu. The stage is yours. You have got 7 minutes.
Thanks, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to the Premier MECs available in the House and the Leader of Opposition, Commissioner Mapoulo, and other leaders of the opposition in the House and the members in general. Honorable Speaker, the EFF is disappointed that processes in relation to planning of targets were not properly aligned to the broader goals and vision of the department. It is clear that from the reports that the departmental processes were not properly planned as alluded to by the Auditor General, which is quite disturbing. The level of incompetence in this department has the potential to derail service delivery in our province. Unfortunately, it is the poorest of the poor who will suffer the incompetence and laziness of the department, of the government, while consequence management remains just a far-fetched reality. Honorable Speaker, Program 3 of the department indicated that subsistence farmers who are on municipal register of farmers are not supposed to get assistance or benefit from the policy of empowering farmers. Only the heartless government can come up with such an absurd position which seeks to exclude our people from benefiting from government policies and programs. It's stated that these farmers must have an annual turnover of less than 50,000. Se ke seo se sa kgonagalego ebile gape se kgetholla balemirui gagolo bao ba hlokago thušo ya mmušo. The EFF will not allow this level of exclusion as it marginalizes and further puts our farmers in serious financial strain. Any policy in this department which is not in favor of emerging and smallholder farmers must be rejected at all costs because it increases audit risk. Honorable Speaker, what is the department doing in terms of assisting farmers who do not have the necessary skills to prepare their financial statements? There are many of such farmers who cannot prepare their financial statements because of historical background that we all know. Furthermore, if they do not have the necessary skill to prepare the financial statement, it will be difficult for them to track profits or even losses in the business. The incapacity will continue to hamper on the growth of their farming operations if not addressed by the government. Majority of farm operations end up collapsing because of lack of experience and expertise by the emerging black farmers to run such operations. They do not get adequate support from government. The department must employ more extension officers and deploy them to every single emerging farmer in the province to capacitate them with the necessary skill to run farming operations. Furthermore, the department must also come up with a program to partner experienced farmers with emerging farmers for skills transfer, providing firm support to the experienced farmers. Balimi ba borakgwebo, the commercial farmers, ba swanetše go rwala maikarabelo a go fana ka tlhahlo ye e feletšego go balemi ba bannyane gore le bona ba be le bokgoni jwa temo. EFF e nyaka gore balemi ba be le dipeo tšeo di laetšago le dipeo tšeo di laetšago nomoro ya bašomi ba lebaka le letelele, bašomi ba lebakanyana, the temporary workers, le bašomi ba go tla ba feta ba ngwadišwe le kgoro ya bašomi, the Department of Labour. Honorable Speaker, graduates who studied the much needed agricultural courses remain unemployed, which further deepens poverty in our province. The department must employ these young people to better their lives and allow them to participate in the mainstream economic activities. Ke a leboha.
Re a leboga Ntate Magolo for indeed giving us more minutes. It's now the opportunity for the chair of the committee to come and close the debate. She has 10 minutes. Honorable Me Kupa Mabuza. Mama Buza. Le tla nthuta ka se sa Mabuza hore re le bitša jwang ka sona in future. Siyabonga mama.
Thank you, Honorable Dr. Speaker. My greetings to yourselves, the Chief Whip, the Deputy Chief Whip, the Deputy Chair of Chairs, the honorable members, and the Executive Committee. Batho ba borena ba ba re lebeletše mo mafaratlhatlheng le ba ba leng gona ka mo baeng ba rena, our very special guest today, Moreki, our honorable MEC wa Masheleng, my honorable MEC of Agriculture, ke a le dumediša. Madam Speaker, let me take this opportunity once again to appreciate the moment to address this August House on the consideration and adoption of 2025-2026 revised annual performance plan. Madam Speaker, maybe before we can reflect on about the matter under review, it is also important to acknowledge the fact that November and December are very busy months in terms of its form as festive months, and the rollout of government programs that seeks to address and confront the gender-based violence and femicide in our communities have been launched. Just some few days ago, on the 1st of December 2025, our government at all spheres managed to organize a very successful International World AIDS Day that was commemorated at Ramasemola Stadium in Sekhukhune District, Makuri Thamara local municipality. On the 21st of November 2025, the party that I'm representing in this house, the African National Congress, have launched the gender-based violence campaign in Vembe District, Thulamela local municipality. And on the 25th of November 2025, it was the start of 16 days of activism. All of these activities mentioned and many other activities that are happening in our province are in efforts to confront gender-based violence and femicide. Madam Speaker and honorable members, let once again embrace and appreciate this rainy season which is upon us. Even though in some areas there might be some disasters, but if that happened, proper channels should be utilized to seek assistance. Madam Speaker, on the revised 2025-2026 annual performance plan, it was precisely informed by the consideration and prompting by the Auditor General of South Africa that has affected two programs, Program 3 and Program 6, and its content where we'll explain, including the intention thereof. It should be highlighted that the revised annual performance plan does not affect the budget as tabled previously by the Honorable MEC Nakedi Sibanda Kekana. The implementation of the plans will unfold as guided by the very same budget. The honorable members, the amendment on program 3, in particular on subsistence producer, it is defined in contradiction with that of the municipality, as they are also benefiting as indigents by the policy of the municipality, Honorable Mahon. But on this one, the National Technical Indicator description defines it as one who is not classified as an indigent by the municipality and has an annual turnover of less than 50,000. The department should carefully consider this and act in a manner that it shall assist our subsistence producer in our province. They are not supposed to be excluded, as the result might impact negatively to the whole process. And accordingly, with matters of budget, it was indicated that it is already covered under Limpopo Comprehensive Agricultural Support Program, popularly known as CASP. It is strategically placed as it will move producer into the mainstream economy. It is commendable given the fact that it shall elevate our farmers to a greater height by preparing them to be commercial farmers. Madam Speaker, on the amendment of Program 6, the establishment of 50 is equal to 10 farmers per district. This is coined as a new commercialization target. It is very progressive, but we request from the department to actually outline a criteria that will be used to select 10 farmers beneficiary per district for commercialization support. Generally, we wish that they can be sustainable so that other farmers can come and benefit from the program for the better of our food security and the creation of jobs in our province. While on the creation of jobs by our farmers, the department should not eat that we normally get reports of jobs created from the farmers during oversight, Honorable Maulu. But we do not prompt by asking, did the permanent or seasonal or temporary workers registered with the Department of Labor? Just to be sure about the status of the jobs, including the security of the very same jobs that we are advocating for in our sector. It has to be looked into holistically. If possible, we should be getting statistical analysis of the farmers that we have created these jobs. We wish that the department can have a database of all jobs created by the farmers. Madam Speaker, the governing party, African National Congress, is unapologetic in terms of the implementation of their manifesto. On this one, we are looking mainly on creation of jobs and the achievement of the inclusive economy with a role played by the farmers of our province. Because the expectation is that those that are benefiting and growing as farmers, they should then assist by creating jobs and be competitive in the economy of our province and that of our country. Madam Speaker, as we appreciate our provincial unemployed trends being reduced, we should use this sector to create even more jobs in order to sustain the status or even to surpass it. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, the hopes of the attainment of the clean audit are very much higher. The prompts by the AG and now the revised APP. We wish the executive management and the executive authority well, as they will be working very hard to break the stagnant and qualified audit opinion to a long-anticipated clean audit in its financial year. The AG recommendations in the main, together with what you already have, portfolio resolution tracking and many others, assist you to achieve it. And thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair leads, the chairperson lead by example. Giving us 2 minutes, 5 seconds is really helping. Chair, we really appreciate. We will now allow the MEC for Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, Honorable MEC Nakedi Kekana, to respond to the debate.
Thobela, Honorable Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, Chair of Chairs, and the Deputy Chair of Chairs, members of the Executive Committee, and the House at large. Let me take this opportunity, Honorable Speaker, to acknowledge the concerns as raised by the Portfolio Committee members. But I want to indicate vividly that, Honorable Speaker, we must express our disappointment that some of our colleagues choose to display political propaganda and refuse to give credit where it is due. Constructive oversight is necessary and welcome, but misrepresentation does not help this House or the people we are mandating to serve. And it's not by surprise, Honorable Speaker, that the department in its endeavor to support all the farmers across their categories. There is one category of farming, which is the commercial farmers, where they refuse categorically so to be assisted with the support emanating from the floods that they've incurred during the 2025-2026 financial year. Primarily because, Honorable Speaker, those farmers, those commercial farmers are in the main the farmers who have the financial muscles which other farmers, the subsistence farmers and the emerging farmers do not have, and cannot even afford to pay for the insurances, which will then be able to cover them in terms of the disasters. So I'm not surprised by the comments, because what we are doing precisely is to assist the emerging and the subsistence farmers, so that at the end of the day, we provide them with the technical support, which will then assist them to be upscaled from the very same subsistence farmer to the small-scale farmer, and even to reach that level of the commercial farmer that we want to achieve. Honorable members, we have been transparent in revising our targets. In the previous APP, some household support interventions were non-tangible, mostly advisory in nature. We deliberately shifted those targets to tangible targets and indicated in the provincial indicator. These revised and realistic targets are clearly indicated in the 2025-2026 revised annual performance plan. What we are essentially saying is this: instead of supporting household only with technical advice, we have aligned our approach to ensure that our extension and farmer support services are accompanied by concrete, measurable, and practical assistance. We want farmers to see, feel, and benefit directly from government intervention. As I close, Honorable Speaker, these are not promises, they are deliverables. They reflect sound planning, prudent budgeting, and a commitment to turning policy into results that change lives. We therefore call on honorable members to engage honestly and fairly with the evidence before them, and to join us in strengthening agricultural services delivery and rural development for the people of Limpopo. And I thank you.
Honorable MEC, we shall now go to item 8. Item 8 is the debate, snap debate on 16 days of activism, 16 days of activism against gender-based violence and femicide. We will just go directly there to the debate itself. It doesn't need to be moved or seconded. We'll just move to the snap debate. In terms of the snap debate that we have, Honorable Velile Jack was supposed to start the debate, is not here. And we'll still remind honorable members that the minutes strictly 3 minutes. Those that are 3 minutes, those that are 5 minutes, and 7 minutes and 10 minutes accordingly. Let's look to the debate, because we still have other 2 debates after this one. We'll now call Honorable Velile is absent, then, or submitted an apology rather. Then we'll request Honorable Sibotoma Matsubani Jam to start the debate. 3 minutes, honorable member.
Honorable, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Yes, my name is Matsubani. Thank you. Right, now, thank you, Honorable Speaker, the esteemed House, colleagues in the opposition benches. Here today, we should not just stand, we should stand united not just to commemorate the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, but to raise our voices for justice, dignity, and equality. These 16 days are more than a campaign, they are a global call to action, a call to end the silence, a call to end the fear, a call to end the violence. Gender-based violence is not a private issue. It is not a cultural issue. It is not a woman's issue alone. It is human rights crisis that affects families, communities, economies, and the future of our nation. Every day, women, girls, and vulnerable groups face abuse in their homes, schools, workplace, and on our streets. Behind every statistic is a life disrupted, a dream shattered, and a voice struggling to be heard. We must be clear and courageous. Violence has no excuse. No excuse in tradition, no excuse in poverty, no excuse in silence, and no excuse in power. A society that tolerates gender-based violence is a society that tolerates injustice. Our laws may exist on paper, but laws alone are not enough. We need enforcement, accountability, and political will. We need safe reporting schemes, survivor-centered justice, and zero tolerance for perpetrators, no matter who they are or how powerful they may be. But government action is only one part of the solution. Change begins in our homes, in our schools, in our churches, in our workplace, in our everyday conversation. It begins when a father teaches his son respect, when a school teaches equality, when a community protects survivors instead of blaming them, when men stand as allies, not bystanders. To the survivors listening today, we see you, we believe you, and we stand with you. Your pain matters, your life matters, your voice matters. You are not alone. And to the perpetrators, the days of impunity must end. This society will no longer look away. There will be consequences for violence, for abuse, and for exploitation. As leaders, as citizens, as human beings, we must turn these 16 days into 365 days of action. Let us commit to funding survivor services. Let us strengthen our laws. Let us educate our youth. Let us challenge harmful norms. Let us protect the vulnerable and empower the silent. This really will judge us not by our speeches, but by our actions. Let it be said that we were the generation that refused to normalize abuse, that chose justice over silence, and that built a nation where every woman and every girl can live free from fear. Together, we can end gender-based violence. Together, we must. Kanima.
Thank you so much. You stick to your minutes. Can we now allow Honorable Andre Moss?
Limpopo enters the 60 days of activism with painful reality. In the province, gender-based violence is not only driven by perpetrators, it is enabled by failing systems that are meant to protect victims. You cannot fix GBV with posters and speeches while the foundations of safety are crumbling. For 16 days, we will hear big promises. But outside this house, in villages and towns across Limpopo, women and children still live with fear because the basic machinery of justice does not work. Police response times are slow. Victims struggle to get dignified assistance. Social workers are overloaded and court cases drag on till survivors lose hope. Even during recent oversight visits, whether it's in Elias Motsaledi, Tabazimbi or Mogalakwena, the message was the same. Stations don't have enough vehicles, victim-friendly rooms are inadequate, and staffing is far below the need. That is not an isolated problem. It is a reality across the province. This is why gender-based violence continues at the scale we see today. It is not because we lack awareness. It is because we lack a functional, reliable system that can deliver justice quickly and consistently. Honourable Speaker, We need to stop pretending that annual campaigns are enough. GBV will not be defeated by symbolic gestures. It will be defeated by police stations with working vehicles and trained officers. DNA results processed on time. Shelters that are properly funded and not left to beg for survival. Social workers supported with manageable caseloads and courts that move with urgency instead of delay. A survivor in Giani, Burgers Fort, Marble Hall, or Lepalali does not care how many campaigns we launch. She cares that someone answers when she calls for help. She cares that the system believes her, protects her, and brings the perpetrators to justice. Honourable Speaker, the Freedom Front Plus will not stand here and congratulate government for awareness campaign while women in this province continue to fall through the cracks. Limpopo does not need more speeches. It needs competence. It needs accountability. It needs a government that treats gender-based violence as a daily emergency, not as a seasonal headline. If the 60 days of activism are meant to mean anything, let them be the moment we stop hiding behind slogans and start fixing the system that protects our people. Because women and children in Limpopo deserve more than promises. They deserve safety and justice every day of the year. I thank you, Speaker.
Very much, Honorable Moss. Sticking for your time, we'll now proceed. Honorable Elm, Maria. You have got 5 minutes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Speaker. The DA is fighting for a province where all vulnerable people are safe. We want a province where survivors are supported, not failed, where perpetrators face justice, where the state responds fast, spends money properly, and fixes broken systems. And we have proof. The latest crime stats of SAPS released a few days ago that painted a picture where most reported crimes decreased, and I think that was very good, except sexual offences. And against the culprits are, and we all know them, Thohoyandou Police Station, Mankweng and Seshego, which is part of the top 30 in the country. Rape is still at an alarming high rate, with again stations in the top 30 list are Thohoyandou, Mankweng and Seshego. And that's only the cases that are actually reported. The place of occurrence show again that the most frequent place of violation is residences of perpetrators or victims, including residences known by the victim. So it's in your neighborhood, it's in the place where you're supposed to feel safe. Meaning those places where all people must be able to feel safe, we are not safe anymore. Further, schools, that is supposed to be a safe place where learning must take place, sexual offences are very high. Further, teenage pregnancies show that our female children are not safe. We want a justice system that actually works, police stations that protect, shelters that are funded, doctors, nurses and social workers who can do their jobs and are not so overloaded that they cannot focus properly. DNA labs that do not collapse under political neglect. We want laws that bite, budgets that matter, and accountability that deliver results. We want a Limpopo where we can get quarterly reports from the Department of Transport and Community Safety of specific information on GBV. Because it's only when we have reliable data that we know how to develop programs that can actually make a difference. We demand that the Department of Transport and Community Safety use the Court Watch program to specifically follow the cases of GBV to enable the committee to find out whether the SAPS and the justice system support or hinder victims to experience true justice. So we have the tools, let's use them. We need to find out where the challenges are so that it can be fixed. For years, the DA have pushed, exposed, marched, legislated and demanded action. We demanded accountability for teenage pregnancies. And why are it not reported as child rape? We have to push for transparency on crime stats. And we also need to find out, are all crimes actually reported, yes or no? We do it because reality is brutal. Women are raped, beaten, and murdered every day. Children are assaulted in homes, schools, and communities. Sometimes survivors walked into police stations and are turned away. Cases collapse because DNA tests take years to come to the conclusion. Girls as young as 10 fall pregnant, and nobody reports the crime. Shelters run out of food. Doctors are unavailable. Social workers are overwhelmed. The DA cares because every case has a name, a face, a story. and because a country that cannot protect its women and children cannot call itself free. To curb this terrible scourge, we need a multidimensional approach. The Department of Transport and Community Safety must make sure that the police and justice systems provide caring, supporting services to all victims and trace that through the court watch system. Talking doesn't help anymore, we need proof. The Department of Health must make sure that hospitals and clinics are equipped and nurses and social workers trained to treat victims of sexual crimes. The Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure must make sure that the buildings for these services are in a good condition to create an environment where victims can feel comfortable and safe. We all need to do our part. All of us. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. We will now allow Honorable Mayor Lidwaba Josephine to come to the podium. You have got 7 minutes, ma'am. If you feel comfortable to present when you are there, you are. But if you want to come to the podium, you are as well welcome.
Madume hape ka bulutlong. Honorable Speaker, the scourge of gender-based violence, GBV, femicide and child abuse continues to tear the moral fabric of South Africa. These atrocities are not newspaper headlines, they are daily lived realities in our society. They occur in homes, schools, workplaces, and tragically within our universities. The victims have lost hope and have given up on the police and justice system in South Africa. There is no political will by the government to address this national crisis. We need to invest in the police, provide them with better training, more resources, and the capacity of protect communities. There is a need for a renewed focus and new strategies to tackle gender-based violence and femicide, GBV, and F as a national crisis. Honorable Speaker, it is regrettable that the only time the legislature considers the issue of GBV and F is during the 16 days of activism campaign for the violence against women and children. This gives the impression that GBV only happens during this time of the year when it happens almost every day of our life. Every year we come here and cry about the same things as if we care, and yet nothing has been done to address GBV pandemic, which continues to destroy our women and children. Eish. Oh, we mabutata. Honorable Speaker, GBV continues unabated, particularly for women, children, LGBTQ persons with disability, and women continue to live in fear in their homes and communities, and sometimes in the hands of those who are supposed to love and protect them. Honorable Speaker, it is regrettable that the Domestic Violence Act is being violated by the very institutions that are supposed to endorse it. These institutions have no regard for the well-being of women, children, people living with disability, and other vulnerable groups. Furthermore, our police stations have no rape kits, no victim-friendly rooms. However, GBV is not just a policing problem, but also a cultural problem. Boys are not taught the values of respect towards fellow human beings, especially the respect for women, because men are not exemplary in their social interaction with women. When the police fail to arrest and prosecute effectively the perpetrators of GBV, they are not only denying the victims justice, but they are also, in fact, further victimizing them. Honorable Speaker, perhaps we should appraise this August House that we have other forms of violence against women and are pervasive and impacting more negatively. This includes sex for jobs, sex pests in schools and churches. Sex for jobs is done by majority of ANC officials in government department and municipality and ANC. Councillors, bao ba swelego ka anong ba sa tsebego go ferea basadi. Aye.
Speaker, with your permission, may I assist my colleague with the last page?
I'm not sure whether it is allowed in terms of the rules. I agree she can submit. Yeah, but if Honorable Maul wants to assist, he can assist.
It is clear, Honorable Speaker, that victims of GBV are on their own as perpetrators continue to inflict more pain on them with renewed courage and vigor because they know nothing will happen to them. We will never win this war against GBV if that is the attitude to go by. I thank you.
We would really appreciate that Honorable Max wanted to assist, but we must remember that the SNAP debate, you are depending on the mandate of your party. So that's why I wasn't sure whether, in terms of the rule, it's allowed to have another member when EFF members are in the House. Thank you so much. Can we now proceed to Mayor Florence Radzilani, the MEC for Social Development? She will be debating, representing the African National Congress. You have got 10 minutes, ma. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Our Honorable Premier, Dr. Popera Matuba, who has just left, members of the Executive Council, the Chief Whip and Deputy Chief Whip, Deputy Chair of Chairs, honorable members of this august House, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very blessed afternoon to all of you. It's still morning, in fact, Honorable Speaker. Today, we gather amidst the spirit of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, a crucial reminder of the urgent need to confront and eradicate the scourge that continues to threaten the very fabric of our society. As we reflect on this period, I'm filled with profound pain and sorrow for the women and children of South Africa, and particularly those in Limpopo who remain victims of gender-based violence. Their suffering is a stark reminder that our fight is far from over. Honorable Speaker, as we participate in this important debate of the 16 days of no violence against women and children, I want to acknowledge and emphasize the powerful theme for 2025, which read as follows: Litsima, men, women, boys, and girls working together to end gender-based violence and femicide. This theme, Honorable Speaker, underscores the critical importance of unity and collective responsibility in combating this epidemic. It calls on every segment of our society, men and women, boys and girls, and to join hands and work collaboratively towards ending gender-based violence and femicide once and for all. Furthermore, Honorable Speaker, we welcome the declaration of gender-based violence as a national disaster, a decisive step that highlights the gravity of the problem and the urgent need for comprehensive, coordinated action across all sectors of society to protect our women and children and build a safer and more equal nation. Gender-based violence is not just a statistic. It is a brutal reality inflicted upon our loved ones, our sisters, our daughters, our mothers, and our children. It tears families apart, destroys lives, and robs our nation of its potential. It is a scourge that demands our unwavering attention and collective action. The Department of Social Development stands at the forefront of this fight. Every day, Honorable Speaker, our dedicated social workers attend to victims, listening, supporting, and providing the care they so desperately need. Through their tireless efforts, many victims find a glimmer of hope and a path to healing. When circumstances demand, we extend our support through facilities like the Kuseleka One-Stop Center, where integrated services are provided to victims of gender-based violence, services that offer safety, counseling, legal aid, and empowerment. Honorable Speaker, however, as much as government plays its part, it is not enough. We call upon male members of this legislature and society at large to rise above rhetoric and demonstrate activism. I'm not referring to male members from the African National Congress, because gender-based violence need all of us to work together, whether you are coming from the opposition or not. It will not assist the community that we are serving if honorable members, when they are afforded opportunity to debate, they start to come with unfounded allegations leveled against honorable members and leaders of the African National Congress. And going forward, Honorable Speaker, if you don't call them, those who are doing that, to order, we will make sure that we also take action, because we are also protected by the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. Honorable Speaker, it is time to turn words into concrete action. Use your influence, your position, and your voice to wage war against gender-based violence. Expose and challenge those among us who perpetuate this violence, those who threaten the safety and dignity of women and children. Be the change agent who lead by example and shift societal norms. A revolutionary fight requires boldness, conviction, and unwavering commitment. It demands that we protect the rights of women and children, ensuring they live free from fear and violence. We owe this to our ancestors, men and women of this beautiful land, who fought tirelessly for democracy, for the right to live in dignity and freedom. We remember heroines like Mama Lydia Komape and Mama Joyce Mashamba, stalwarts of this legislature who dedicated their lives to advancing the interests of women, children, and the vulnerable. Their legacy calls us to do more, to be more. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, the Department of Social Development will leave no stone unturned in this battle. We are committed to not only providing care and support, but also exposing perpetrators and fighting tirelessly for justice. Our mission is to create a society where women and children can flourish, living free, safe and empowered, enjoying the democracy fought for by brave men and women of our nation. Let us stand united. Let us be the voice and defies violence. Let us be the change that transforms our society into one where gender-based violence is a thing of the past. Together we can turn the tide and build a future of peace, dignity, and equality for all. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable MEC, representing the African National Congress. We really appreciate for closing the debate. We'll now move to item 9, which is the debate on World AIDS Day. We will as well request that as the presiding officer's desk, there will be no motion of moving or seconding. We'll just go directly to the speakers list. I will not count Honorable Velile is already not out, and I will now request Honorable Swotoma Matsubani Jam. The 3 minutes applies. I will request the members of the EFF to decide whether they want to forfeit the debate or because we can see that Honorable Mapula looks not very well. So the EFF can make a determination on whether they want to change the speaker or they want to, whatever they want to do, we'll hear from the EFF. Over to you, Honorable Cham.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Today, we gather here today not only to observe a day on the calendar, but to reaffirm a promise to humanity. On this World's Day, we stand with the millions of people living with HIV. We honor those who have lost, and we renew our commitment to a future free from AIDS. 4 decades ago, HIV was a death sentence. Fear, misinformation, and stigma spread faster than the virus itself. But science, courage, and global solidarity changed the course of history. Today, life-saving treatment exists. People living with HIV can live long, healthy, and productive lives. This is not a miracle of chance. It is a victory of public investment, community activism, and a political will. Yet, let us be honest. The fight is far from over. Every day, new infections still occur. Too many people, especially young people, women, and marginalized communities, still lack access to testing, treatment, and education. Stigma and discrimination remain powerful barriers. Poverty and inequality continues to fuel vulnerability. As leaders and citizens must ask ourselves, are we doing enough? This is not only a health issue, it is a question of human rights, social justice, and national responsibility. Access to prevention, treatment, and care must not depend on where you live, how much you earn, or who you are. No child should be born with HIV because treatment was unavailable. No patient should die because stigma kept them from seeking help. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, fellow citizens, history will judge us not by our words alone, but by what we chose to do when we had the power to act. Let us choose investment over indifference, science over stigma, and hope over fear. On this day, Let us move forward together, united in purpose, strong in compassion, and determined in action until the day when AIDS is no longer a global threat, but a chapter in history we overcame together. Kanimam.
Thank you so much, Honorable Swotuma. Honorable members, we have received a request from the EFF that we release Honorable Ledwaba. Honorable Ledwaba, you are officially released because we can see you are not well. We wish that you get well soon, ma. Thank you so much. We'll now allow Honorable Moss to the podium.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. All protocols observed. Honourable Speaker, World AIDS Day is not merely a date on the calendar. It's a mirror hold up to our country's public health record. It focuses us to ask uncomfortable questions about what leadership, accountability, and whether South Africa has truly honoured the lives lost and protected those still vulnerable. The FF Plus approaches this day with respect for every South African affected by HIV and AIDS, but also with a firm demand for honesty about the failures that brought us here. South Africa HIV/AIDS strategy did not fall from the sky. It was shaped by years of denialism, delayed treatment, rollout, and an erosion of public trust in health institutions. The South African government, particularly during the early 2000s under President Thabo Mbeki and Health Minister Mantu Tshabalala Msimang, was slow to embrace the global scientific consensus on HIV and AIDS. While scientists worldwide were calling for the urgent rollout of ARV treatment to save lives, the SA government questioned the link between HIV and AIDS, postponed the provision of ARVs in public hospitals, endorsed alternative or unverified treatments, and spent years debating rather than taking action. This delay resulted in thousands of preventable deaths. To honor World AIDS Day without recognizing the history would be a disservice to the families who continue to bear the consequences. But commemoration is not enough. Today, South Africa remains home to the world's largest HIV-positive population, with communities where treatment interruptions, medicine stockouts, and failing clinics threaten the progress we have made. In many rural provinces, including Limpopo, clinics are understaffed, outreach programs are inconsistent, and young people lack access to prevention, testing, or counseling. Public transport failures isolate patients, chronic vacancies weaken continuity of care, and procurement failures undermine the treatment availability. On this World AIDS Day, we honor every South African who lives with HIV, every family that lost someone, and every health worker who stepped in where the state failed. The best way to honor them is not with promises, but with action. Real, practical, measurable actions that restore trust and save lives. The Freedom Front Plus believe in a health system where ideology never outrank evidence, where patients don't have to beg for medication, and where accountability is not treated as optional. I thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll now allow Honorable Wilson. You have 5 minutes, ma'am.
Has recently seen wonderful accolades in all spheres of life. We are rugby world champions. Our cricket teams, both men and women, have done us proud in recent World Cups. SA swimmers have done us proud on the world stage, and our surfers, dancers, football players, and athletes. The list goes on. It is amazing how these things have brought our Rainbow Nation together, uniting in celebrations and discussions over the braais and in gatherings. But there is one accolade we cannot be proud of. South Africa is the world leader in terms of the HIV/AIDS burden. This is not cause for celebration. It is not talked about and not very often discussed. Currently, there are approximately 8 million people living with the virus in South Africa. It is a staggering number. Alarmingly, these are just people we know about. We suspect there are many more that we are not aware of. Furthermore, Speaker, the amount of illegal immigrants that cross our borders on a daily basis are an unknown factor in terms of their status. In 2024, it is estimated that 630,000 people died from HIV-related causes. These, along with our current GBV statistics and rape statistics, are numbers that are similar to that of a war zone. Indeed, we are at war with HIV/AIDS, but it is an enemy we cannot see, and it is hard to detect without the wounded coming in for help. After 37 years of the outbreak, and despite the fact that help and medicine is available to control the viral load, stigma and fear continue to intimidate and control management of the virus. Hesitancy to address or get help for the scourge and to get preventative care by suffering is the plague of the stigma. Sadly, the highest prevalence of the disease affects men and women in working age groups of our civilians. And more recently, there has been an increase in young people between 15 and 30. The next generation is our workforce. This, and in light of the United States withdrawal for aid for HIV and AIDS, is going to have a severe impact on the future of this country unless we do more to deal with this battle now. Action must be taken in companies and with employers where non-discriminatory and occupational health programs are implemented. For as long as stigma and discrimination are attached to the virus, fewer people will come forward, death rates will rise, and ultimately this deadly virus is going to affect us in all the workplaces and efficiency around the country. Speaker, South Africa celebrated its World AIDS Day national event in Gamasamola under the theme Renewed Efforts and Sustainable Commitments to End AIDS. But the situation within Limpopo continues to be a cause for concern, and it is highlighted by the performance of the HIV/AIDS sub-program in the 24-25 annual report. The department failed to achieve its planned targets with regards to antiretroviral therapy, or ARTs. Adults who remain in care are only at 84.3% instead of 95%. ART in children who remain in care, 91.4% instead of 95%. ART viral loads under 50, 77% instead of 95%, and I could go on. This points to more resources, wider reach, and a concerted effort to combat HIV/AIDS and to decrease the burden of disease on our population. Our current health crisis, namely underfunding, massive vacancy rates, is only going to exacerbate the situation further. Collapsing clinics, lack of community-based sisters and workers, and the closing down of NGOs who made a massive difference because of lack of funding is a crisis. It is a serious crisis that is going to have devastating effects on our poor and vulnerable very shortly. We need to act. We need to act now. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you so much. We'll now move toward the EFF has said they will not participate on this debate. We'll now allow Honorable Mashodi Eketseng, Honorable MEC for Health, to come and close the debate on behalf of the African National Congress.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members of the legislature, members of Executive Council, fellow citizens of Limpopo, good afternoon. We meet here today at a critical moment in our collective fight against HIV and AIDS. According to the National Department of Health, South Africa currently has 1.1 million people living with HIV who are disengaged from antiretroviral treatment care, patients who have defaulted on treatment, are not receiving viral load monitoring or remain virally unsuppressed. South Africa continues to record progress towards achieving the ambitious 95 targets. We must confront the reality that too many of our people remain lost in the system. Efforts against HIV and AIDS have achieved notable progress, including surpassing the first and third UN AIDS 95 targets. Yet challenges persist in initiating and retaining diagnosed individuals on treatment. Currently, statistics are at 96, 80, 97, while global figures stand at 95, 85, 92. To confront the stubborn second 95 target, we launched one of the most ambitious national recovery efforts on February 25, 2025, known as the 1.1 million Close the Gap Treatment Acceleration Campaign. We are going to implement the 6 multi-dispensing and the launching of the Lenacapavir next year, 2026. Here in Limpopo, our target is clear and urgent. We are searching for 180,975 individuals who are unaccounted for in the ART care. To date, we have successfully traced and returned 84,327 people, which is 47%, back to treatment and support. Honorable Speaker, as the department, we are also experiencing duplicates of missing patients who move from one facility to the other, and we are working tirelessly to ensure that we stop or find them so that we can address the real missing numbers. As provincial government, we committed to closing the gap, HIV treatment gap of 180,975 by December 2025. While we have not fully reached this target, we must acknowledge the meaningful improvements recorded between October 2024 and October 2025. On the first 95, we reached 93%, close but not enough. On the second 95, we achieved 80%, which is our biggest area of concern. On the third 95, we performed strongly at 97%. Indicating that once people are on treatment, our systems do support them well. When it comes to treatment outcomes, we are encouraged by the continued improvement in treatment outcomes on both adults and children. For adults, adult retention in care improved from 83.9% in December 2024 to 87.6% September 2025. Adult viral load suppression rose from 76.6% to 83.9% during the same period. When it comes to children, here Limpopo shines brightly. We reached 95% child retention in care, up from 88.9%, a remarkable improvement of 6.1%. Child viral load suppression improved dramatically from 52.8% to 91%, a 38.2% improvement. When broken by districts, child retention care rates are as follows. Sekhukhune leads with 98% child retention, Waterberg follows at 95.6%, Bembe at 95.4%, Mopani at 92.7%, and Capricorn at 93.8%. On viral load suppression for children on ART, Waterberg achieved 100%, Bembe 93.3%, Sekhukhune 91.7%, Mopani 83.9%, Capricorn 86.2%. These achievements show that it is possible when our systems work, when our people are supported, and when our partnerships are strong. Honorable members, these are not mere statistics. These are fathers and mothers, sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, colleagues and neighbors whose lives matter and whose future depend on our collective commitment to act decisively. Honorable Speaker, the battle against HIV and AIDS cannot and will not be won by the Department of Health alone. It requires a genuine multi-sectoral response involving government departments, municipalities, traditional leadership, faith-based organizations, civil society, the private sector, community health workers, and ordinary citizens. 6, stigma, social barriers, unemployment, substance abuse, and migration all contribute to treatment interruption. These challenges demand coordinated interventions that go beyond clinical care to embrace community mobilization, psychosocial support, youth empowerment, and strengthened primary health systems. In Limpopo, we remain committed to expanding community-based tracing, strengthening adherence clubs, utilizing work-based outreach teams, intensifying viral load monitoring, and partnering with local leadership structures to ensure that no one is left behind. As a province, we are honored to demonstrate this united front by hosting a successful National World AIDS Day commemoration at Masemola Stadium in Ramasemola within the Makudu Tamara municipality of the Sekhukhune district. This historical event was addressed by the Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, Honorable Paul Mashatile, reaffirming government's unyielding commitment to end AIDS by 2030. That day symbolized not only remembrance and awareness, but also renewed action, a call to every sector of society to play its part in tracing those missing from care, encouraging HIV testing, ensuring treatment initiation, and supporting sustained viral suppression. Honorable members, our duty is clear. We must intensify our efforts to find every missing patient, support adherence to treatment, and restore hope to families across Limpopo. Let us move beyond debate into decisive action, strengthening partnerships, mobilizing communities, breaking stigma, and ensuring that our healthcare system responds with compassion, efficiency, and accountability. Together, we can close the gaps, reach the unreached, and accelerate our march towards the 95 targets. The fight against HIV and AIDS is not only a medical struggle, it is a moral imperative to protect life, dignity, and the future of our province. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate Honorable MEC for your response on behalf of the ANC. I must indicate that the MEC has got other responsibilities. She is requested to be released after the presentation. MEC, you are formally released. We'll now go to the last debate. Members should not, will be done before 1 today. So those that are here shouldn't panic that we're still going to take long. This is the last step debate, and once we finish this step debate, we'll be done. So the last one, it's the goodbyes. Today. What are you saying to us? What has been a year? We need to hear from the political parties. How was the 2025? So that we must be able to start the 2026. Go and rest, come back fresh. That will be done by honorable members themselves as representing their parties doing the closing remarks for the day. We'll start with Honorable Sibutuma. Unfortunately, the minutes applies. You have 3 minutes, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Even those who are howling. Colleagues, if we come to the close of the year's legislative session, I want to take a moment to reflect on the work we've done together. In a time when the public often sees only division in government, we've shown that serious people can still come together, debate with conviction, and ultimately find common ground. This year has also reminded us that progress is rarely easy. It requires patience, respect for the process, and a willingness to listen, truly listen to one another. I'm proud that even in moments of tension, we maintain civility and upheld the dignity of this institution. That is not just a reflection of our professionalism, it's a reflection of our shared belief that democracy works best when we work together. As we look to the year ahead, let us carry forward the lessons we have learned, that collaboration is not weakness, that principled debate is our responsibility, and that public service is a privilege we must never take for granted. Thank you for your dedication, your partnership, and your service. I wish each of you a restful break, time with the people you love, and a renewed energy for the work that awaits us in the new year. Kanima.
Thank you so much. We'll now move to the next presenter, which is Honorable Moss.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and all protocols observed. As we close the final sitting of the legislature for a year, the Freedom Front Plus rises to reflect, not with nostalgia, but with honesty. This has been a difficult year for the people of Limpopo. Service delivery frustrations, collapsing infrastructure, fragile policing, strained clinics, and communities carrying one crisis after the other. Our task in the House has not been easy, and the year ahead will not magically improve unless we confront our failures with sincerity. In the spirit of the season, we can stand here and offer only warm wishes. But the people of Limpopo deserve more than pleasantries. They deserve a government that will recognize the weight of its responsibilities. Families heading into the festive season still worry about water interruption, unsafe roads, unreliable police response, and hospitals stretched far beyond its capacities. To pretend everything is well would be an insult to those who live with these realities every day. Yes, Honourable Speaker, this is also the moment to recognize the resilience of our communities. Through every shortfall of government, it is ordinary South Africans who continue keeping this province going. Teachers who stay late, nurses who push through shortages, police officers who work without vehicles, and families who carry one another through hardship. Limpopo's strength has always come from its people, not from its politicians. The Freedom Front Plus enters the new year with a simple commitment: to push harder, to scrutinize deeper, and to speak honestly about what must change. We will continue doing so without fear or favor. Accountability is not seasonal, and neither is our duty to the citizens of this province. Honourable Speaker, as members leave this House for the festive season, we ask that each of us carry a sense of responsibility with us. The communities we serve do not get a holiday from their problems. Neither should we take a holiday from our obligations to fix them. Let the new year not begin with recycled speeches, but with renewed urgency and genuine political courage. To the people of Limpopo, may you travel safely, may you rest where you can, and may the season bring you moments of peace in the year where peace was often hard to find. In conclusion, the Freedom Front Plus wishes every member of this House a safe, responsible, and blessed festive season. May the grace of Jesus Christ guide us to the new year with clearer focus, stronger resolve, and a shared understanding that our work is far from done. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Moss. We will now proceed to Honorable Evelyn Wilson.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, it often feels like the years get shorter and shorter, certainly as some of us get older, and I'm not alone on that. 2025 has been indeed a busy year. We have faced a string of by-elections. Many of us have suffered losses of loved ones, and several of us have had stints in hospitals and health issues. But we have seen our members achieve at high levels with new degrees. Many have had the arrival of new babies, new grandchildren, and a new generation. It has been a lot of good mixed with some sad. But here we all are. Despite it all, we are here, and we are all human after all. As this year closes and we bid bye to each other for a few weeks, our prayers for each member of this House are simple. We pray that over this period, God keeps each and every one in this House safe, healthy, free from harm, and grants traveling mercies to those that are going away on vacation or to catch up with their loved ones. We pray that our families, who often give up so much for us to do our jobs, are united and spend time together to bond and celebrate unions that are special to us and give us strength to carry on the new season that is ahead of us. With an election next year, each and every one of us will be carrying extra burdens that those big elections bring. For those of the Christian faith, let us enjoy the celebration of the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love, the miracles, the protection that he has brought to all of us, and the goodness that he constantly bestows on those that believe in him. For those of different faiths, celebrate regardless. I pray that you have peace in your lives and an abundance of love and joy and especially rest. In this house, we do not always see eye to eye and agree with each other or support opinions that are different to ours. That's okay. We're a democracy after all. Next year will be no different. However, I pray that in this closing time, that we find time for reflection, for forgiveness, for love and rejuvenation, and quality times with our loved ones. And let us remember to be kind. There are many who are not as lucky and as well off as we are. Let us do what we can, uplift them in our prayers, and where possible, support them with little things that really matter. In closing, Chairperson, we pray for peace in the world, in South Africa, in Limpopo, and in each and every one of our lives. May God bless you all at this time. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Wilson. We'll now allow Honorable Magolo to debate on behalf of the EFF.
Yeah, once again, greetings, honorable members and honorable speaker and our guest in the gallery. Honorable Speaker, this year, like never before, has been marked by challenges which sought to shake the foundations upon which democracy was built through blood and sweat of our freedom fighters. This institution in particular was not spared from such challenges, as it was always on the spotlight for the wrong reasons. The government continued to be plagued by systematic issues such as financial mismanagement, poor service delivery, especially regarding water and infrastructure, governance collapses in municipalities, and failure to spend allocated budgets. Key sectors, including health, education, and public works, were negatively impacted. Entities of government like RAL and GOL continue to die a natural death while there are no immediate, cogent, and workable strategies to save them. Several municipalities have been identified by the Auditor General as underperforming, primarily due to ongoing financial mismanagement, governance issues, and consistent service delivery failures, while some faces uncertainty about their ability to continue operating. Tabazimbi municipality continues to struggle with its inability to fulfill its constitutional obligations under Section 152, particularly in improving budgets and delivering services to the people. The municipality's financial liabilities and infrastructure deficits remain significant hurdles. The EFF will continue to hold government accountable by playing its oversight role without fear or favor. The people of Limpopo need clean governance. The people of Limpopo deserve better than what they are currently being subjected to. The EFF will call for people-oriented, prioritizing the needs and well-being of its citizens by being accountable, transparent, and responsive through open engagement and improved service delivery. And as I conclude, Honorable Speaker, yesterday, the deployees of the economic freedom fighters in Makudu Tamaga municipality embarked on an oversight to St. Rita's Hospital under the capable leadership of Councillor Gift Machaba. What they discovered there, which is a practice in most of the hospitals, or in almost all the hospitals, is that people wake up as early as 4 a.m. to go and queue in hospital. And that is very disturbing. In the coming year, we hope the EFF is calling for the improvement on that to make sure that people get attended. You are sick, you are taking your patient to hospitals to be attended. They are sick. You arrive there at 4 a.m. At 10, after 7 or 8 hours, you are still number 7 on the queue. That is not the situation that we like to see for the people of this province. And the EFF will continue to push for oversight. I thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll now request Honorable Manoko Isop Mokhonyana, the Chief Whip of both the African National Congress and the Chief Whip of the Legislature, to close the debate. Over to you, Honorable Mokhonyana.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, Dr. Makoma Grace Makurubech, the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Tabo Mamrovela, who has apologized not to be part of this sitting, the Chair of Chairs, Honorable Mokoni, who also could not be with us, members of the Wibari, as led by Honorable Ngonyana, members of the Executive Council, honorable members from the opposition parties. I would have wanted Honorable Maolo to greet the leader of the opposition parties, not here, and delegates at the gallery. Receive our hearty salutations as we conclude what has been an eventful, activity-driven annual calendar of this august House. This House rises today, Speaker. We are reminded of the tireless efforts put by these honorable members of ensuring that we continue to deliver basic portable services to the people of this province. This noble task of ensuring a better life for our people has been bestowed upon us by the millions of South Africans who use their electoral power to entrust us with the solemn responsibility to lead their government. As the curtain falls on the 2025 calendar year, we are reminded of the social pact that we have entered into with our people, of providing them with improved health care, world-class education, decent housing, state-of-the-art facilities, and unparalleled infrastructural projects. We have witnessed in the past 12 months some unmatched energy levels by members of the Executive Council who are traversing the length and breadth of this province, launching service delivery projects, conducting sword-turning ceremonies, and making various forms of interventions to improve the lives of our people. Our preoccupation with the upright program of creating a better life for our people has seen us launching the magnanimous Wednesdays, handing over numerous water projects to communities, providing our residents with world-class healthcare services, and many other interventions. We continue to use this legislature as a site of the struggle with the sole intent of ensuring that our people are the direct beneficiaries of this hard-fought democracy. With the African National Congress being the leader of this province, Limpopo shall not stop being a construction site because we are alive to our people's lived realities and daily challenges. Honorable members, We must consider ourselves fortunate for being elected as public representatives to lead this government on behalf of our communities. We are therefore obligated to carry out this mandate with distinction because much is expected from us as a collective. Despite the ongoing differences that we have, we are cognizant of the fact that at the center of our existence is the need to provide services to the people we represent. Honorable members, while the activities of this august house would be temporarily adjourned, our oversight obligation over the executive and government departments continue unabated. Our adoption of the Limpopo Adjustment Appropriation Bill for 2025 is a clear demonstration of our unfettered commitment to improve the lives of our people. It is therefore our wish that these allocated funds would be catalytic to this government's goal of creating a better life for all. We are optimistic that these funds will intensify the service delivery momentum and continue to fend our people from the doldrums of poverty and inequality. The festive period is largely characterized by celebrations and jubilations, as families will be meeting after not seeing each other for longer periods. Our wish and prayer as the African General Congress, as we will be taking part in countless celebrations, is that we must always remain safe on our roads, refrain from drinking and driving, and always remain within the speed limit as we drive. Our role as public representatives compels us to become ambassadors of all government's goodwill programs. Therefore, we are expected to be the torchbearers in the promotion of healthy living, responsible driving, and the fight against gender-based violence and femicide. Honorable Speaker, we had indeed labored hard for the people of this province. And as we take this deserved break, we must proudly reflect on the year and compliment ourselves where we did well, and encourage ourselves to work harder where we fell short. As I conclude in the words of George Bernard Shaw, and I quote, Honorable Speaker, "A day's work is a day's work, and the man who does it needs a day's sustenance, a night's repose, and due leisure, whether they be a painter or a plowman." I thank you.
Thank you so much. The Chief Whip has closed the debate and he told us to be responsible during the festive season. All the debaters have told us how they felt the year and how they wish to see the new year. Well done. As the legislature, we thank you so much. To closing on a high note of members who are still having the energy, but we are saying it's time to go and energize and come back next year with more energy. We'll now allow the Chief Whip, item 11, the Chief Whip to present a motion that indicates that when we rise today, when are we coming back to the sitting again? Over to you, Honorable Chief Whip.
Thank you very much again, one speaker, Madam Speaker. I hereby move that when this House rises today, it will sit again on Thursday, 26 February 2026 at 10 hours at this Limpopo Legislative Chamber. So I move, Honorable Speaker.
We just don't clap hands. The question is, do we agree? I need a formal seconder on this one. Honorable Maria.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I rise to second that very welcome proposal.
This motion was well seconded by everybody in the House. Everybody's tired, they want to rest. Thank you so much, honorable members. We now, in terms of the order paper, like I've indicated, that we'll finish our day-to-day quicker. Allow, if there are any announcements, Honorable Ngobeni. Oh, Mulamza. Okay, Honorable Mulamza. People are happy with your announcements today.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to make the following announcements. One, that Limpopo Legislature will be hosting the Limpopo Provincial Men's Sectoral Parliament on the 5th of December 2025 at Karibu Lodge in Tzaneen at 10 o'clock in the morning. And members are requested to form part of the briefing, which will commence at 9 o'clock in the morning at the venue. Two, that members are scheduled to attend an induction workshop and or training on the 5th to the 6th of February 2026 at the venue to be confirmed. In this regard, logistics shall be communicated to honorable members in due course. Three, that legislature is going on recess, as the honorable chief whip has already alluded. Will be on recess from the 5th of December 2025, and the next sitting of the legislature will be on Tuesday, the 26th of February 2026, on the occasion of the State of the Province address. Four, that honorable members are invited to get together end of the year function after the Limpopo Provincial Men's Sectoral Parliament on the 5th of December 2025 to be held at Sunset View in Tzaneen. Lastly, and most importantly, lunch will be served at committee's boardroom. We state the cause and stay safe, honorable members. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Honorable Ngoben, I didn't hear you properly. You said Tuesday, the 26th, or Thursday? It's Thursday, the 26th. Yes. I felt I needed to confirm that. Honorable members will know that on that day, it's a special day for the Premier to address the peoples of the province because it's SOPA on that day. So it's a special day according to the rules as requested by the Premier. So let us be ready for SOPA on the 26th February. There? You happy? So, but honorable members, I felt it was necessary that I didn't read the announcements when we start so that people might not think that other members were not here. You'll remember that we've released honorable member, he was here already, honorable from the EFF, honorable Mapula Lidwaba, but we had an apology. Honorable Mokoni, chair of chairs, was here. He started with us in the briefing. Unfortunately, as well, due to ill health, we had to release him on the same way. Honorable MEC Matibe is committed to do other work. Honorable Makamu, Honorable Mamrovela, she's attending SADC, a parliamentary forum in Durban, together with Honorable Maringa. They are representing this legislature in that SADC parliamentary, led by the Speaker of the National Parliament, Metoko Didiza there. Honorable Rakhwali, Family Responsibility, Honorable Levia Organizational, Honorable Mawani Organizational, Honorable Mulapo Organizational, Honorable Valoi Organizational, Honorable Lebogo, Honorable Mapolo Organizational work, but as well Honorable Shai and Honorable Jack Velile due to ill health. I felt it's important that we give this announcement so that members shouldn't be surprised where other members are. On that note, honorable members, finally we've come to end of the session today, end of the session of the year. We wish you all the best of luck, and we can't repeat all parties has done that precisely and accordingly. We hope to meet next year in the manner we are. Let's just make sure that we take care of ourselves and make sure that we come back stronger in the next year. On that note, the House stand adjourned until next year. Thank you so much.